Before I get started with this wonderful Petty Pendergrass production, let me give a shout out to SL for sending me this story. Now, you're looking at the title and wondering probably who the hell is Michael Drechka. If you don't remember, Michael Drechka is the palm-colored terrorist that killed Marquise McLaughlin a couple years ago in the parking lot when Michael Drechka somehow built up all of this little strength to go after this woman who was Marquise McLaughlin's girlfriend in the parking lot because they were parked in a handicapped spot and apparently didn't have a decal for the for the spot. While there was a child in the back seat of the vehicle, and then Marquise McLaughlin came out of the store and pushed Michael Drechka to the ground, and then Michael Drechka pulled out a gun and shot and fired a single shot to Marquise McLaughlin, killing him. They had years in prison for manslaughter, and then that was pretty much it, and we didn't hear much more about it since then. Well, I'm delighted to bring to you another story right here, and this is where the title comes into play. So, apparently, according to Michael Drechka's lawyers, he was in Gen Pop, which is what we all wanted him to be in, and he was recently attacked by one of the inmates inside of the prison. So much, in fact, that he had to get stitches, and then he had to get moved to protective custody into, I guess, another prison outside of where he was currently at. I'm gonna go ahead and read this article and see what else comes from it. Defense attorneys for Michael Drechka, the man who was found guilty of manslaughter in the shooting death of Marquise McLaughlin last year, said the 49 has been transferred to protective custody and fears for his life after being attacked in prison. Drechka is being held at Lancaster Correctional Institution in Trenton, approximately 35 miles west of Gainesville. His attorney said he was attacked from behind on Tuesday afternoon. Drechka told his wife he was hit in the head with a lock inside of a sock. His wife told attorneys he needed 5 stitches and is now living in fear. Oh, he needs 5 stitches. Stop being a little bitch and eat that shit up. The Florida Department of Corrections confirmed Drechka was involved in an isolated incident with another inmate around 12:30 p.m. on Tuesday. The department's press secretary said the situation was brought under control by institution security staff. Per standard protocol, inmate Drechka was examined by medical staff and the incident is being investigated. The press secretary said in a statement, at this time, Drechka is in administrative confinement separate from the general population pending protective management review. According to attorneys, the alleged attackers said they knew Drechka was the man involved in a deadly shooting over a parking spot in Clearwater that made national headlines. So it's somebody on the inside that knew about this story that already didn't like this guy from what he did. To that person, whoever that is, whoever did that, we thank you for your services. Hopefully there will be a few more, and if he ever gets the chance to be out of protective custody, that is. The shooting happened on July 19, 2018 in a parking lot. Authorities said Drechka shot and killed 28-year-old Marquise McLaughlin during an argument over a handicapped parking spot. In October, Drechka was sentenced to 20 years for that shooting. He's got a lot more years to go, and here's the crazy thing. He was sentenced in October last year for what happened 2 years ago. He has 20 years. He hasn't even been in 6 months yet, and people are already attacking him. This is the kind of stuff that we need to hear. I know it just warms my heart, and I know it warms yours too. When you can hear when people get what they deserve for the actions that they have put upon other people. But the scary part about this is the fact that how much you want to bet that a lot of people like this Michael Drechka who do stuff like this to other people and get put in Gen Pop, they're going to try to come up with some kind of bill to not put them in Gen Pop but put them in some kind of protective custody if they were involved with I guess you could say, a high profile case. Now, this case wasn't considered, I wouldn't say was completely high profile, not on a scale of like a Trayvon Martin or a Mike Brown or a Laquan McDonald, something like that, or even a Botham Jean. but it got enough attention where I could put out as much information about it as possible, and some others as well. I guess what you can say is that this case for some would be considered to be forgettable. Not me. Not I. And I'm gonna make sure y'all don't forget it either. But it's still a wonderful thing to hear that this man is doing horrible in the prison he's currently in right now. And crazy. And speaking of Laquan McDonald, that piece of shit cop, wasn't he going through the same thing a few months ago too? And they had to quote unquote move him, even though I think they kind of over embellished his attacks. I think he just didn't want to be there because he knew what would happen. Now, because his was high profile, they wasn't going to let him get away with too much. But somebody in this jail knew about this story. I wonder if they read I wonder if they watched my videos. I always said to myself, I wonder if people in jail, because I know they got access to the internet. I wonder if people in jail probably watch my videos. I've always wanted to know that. But anyway, I hope his life